With such a striking contrast, our colleagues have switched over from being impeachment investigators for constitutional high crimes and misdemeanors, which is how this whole thing started, to being amateur memory specialists, giving us their drive-by diagnoses of the President of the United States, whose soaring oratory, powerful historical analysis, and devastating extemporaneous repartee with even the most skilled ninja hecklers of the Freedom Caucus were on full display at the State of the Union address last week for the whole country to see.
That's Jamie Raskin, who doesn't have a lot of time for this testimony. He thinks it's a waste of time because it's a waste of time. It's designed to be a waste of time. The entire thing is an utter clown show, and he is making a mockery of it. But he's gonna go even further. He's gonna try to remind people of sort of the stakes of all of this that's going on, this political theater. Watch this.
The desperate quest to invent an issue is a distraction from the 91 federal and state federal charges that Donald Trump faces now, his staggering civil court losses in New York now totaling more than $500 million, and his full-blown embrace and romance with authoritarian dictators and communist tyrants all over the world, from Viktor Orban in Hungary to Vladimir Putin in Russia, the former head of the KGB, to the communist dictator of North Korea. It's not, this, my friends, this is a memory test. But it's not a memory test for President Biden. It's a memory test for all of America. Do we remember fascism? Do we remember Nazism? Do you remember communism and totalitarianism? Because the tyrants and dictators of the world are on the march today. So who wins with this ludicrous, embarrassing spectacle? Orban wins, Putin wins, Xi wins, the tyrants of the world win. They have one more reason to celebrate Donald Trump and his cult followers who've completely lost their way.
So look, I love what Jamie Raskin said. I don't agree with him necessarily always on politics, but he's very forceful and powerful in his speech. And that's just a sampling of what he said. You can go see the full thing. And it was an amazing indictment of this massive waste of time. When Donald Trump can barely string 3 words together, that we're gonna do this entire thing to focus on Joe Biden. And meanwhile, Trump is literally running around hosting authoritarians at his beach club. And you're talking about poisoning the blood of the country and all of this stuff. Like, it's an utter clown show. And then he yields his time, and Comer comes on and he's like, so exactly how many people did you interview? And you're talking about his classified like, just right back to it. I don't care about all that stuff about like how Donald Trump is clearly in love with multiple dictators, including communist authoritarian leaders, and like just immediately push it aside. I got my talking points. I gotta say my talking points. I want to post this on Twitter later. It's just like that interaction is what our politics is these days. You have some people who you may not agree with everything on, but they seem to have their heart in the right place. They understand the stakes of all this. And then you have these ridiculous, like, simian performers that are just dancing for peanuts, from social media likes to Donald Trump thinking that they're cool on Truth Social. And that's what our politics is. Rayyvana, final thoughts go to you.
Making sound bites for peanuts is exactly what they're doing. But it reminds me, it's a little reminiscent of the Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmation hearing, where you would go from actual meaningful questions about her background as a defense attorney, and then it would go to Ted Cruz and he'd be like, so are you a pedophile who's also a terrorist? And that was like, have you read this book? And they hold up some kid's book and like, can you recite it from memory for us, please? Just the absurdity of it. And it is frustrating. It's like a C-SPAN nerd. I'm sure that you are also. There are plenty of hearings where, of course, Katie Porter comes to mind, grilling CEOs of companies and, people who have unjustly enriched themselves. You have, impassioned Justice Democrats making speeches about not just conditioning aid to Israel, but ending aid to Israel. And those things never get a modicum of the attention that these ridiculous partisan, a waste of time and taxpayer money, shows get. So it's just disappointing. But of course, these are the things that people tune into. No one actually cares about the meaningful work, as little as it is being done in Congress. And the meaningful work doesn't get clicks and views on YouTube. So we can't get a lot of focus on that. Instead, we have to get just these ridiculous circus clown performances.
Yeah, and we see it and we think, well, why would like, I understand that you want this to like go viral, like, but why would anyone like this? This is so clownish, this is so cartoonish. But the thing is, the standards just aren't there. They think that these people, they think Jim Jordan is Katie Porter. They think Lauren Boebert is AOC. They think this. It's crazy, but you need to understand that not everybody has the same expectations or standards. You watch a couple minutes of Charlie Kirk and you think, wait, how does this have 10 people who watch it? He's terrible at his job. It's because the standards just aren't the same. There are people who can listen to Ben Shapiro and think he's intelligent, because some people are even stupider. Like, that is a thing that exists in the world. It's a dark reality, but we have to confront it as people.